What is the minimum premium I can have? What's the minimum to start with? We get this question frequently, and my office, which always helps me out, has been asking me to put more content on this for, I don't know, 6 to 12 months, and we're finally doing it. So what is the minimum that we can pay into a policy? So there's two ways to determine this. One, and this is the way I'd recommend not to do it, is we can price quote. And what this means, let's say I'm a 40-year-old male and I want a $1 million whole life policy, and I also want a quote, let's just say a term life policy. The whole life might cost me $15,000 a year, and the term might cost me $500 a year, depending on the length of the term. So why we have this in red, and we'll state this is the way we don't do it and don't recommend doing it if we're interested in learning how to maximize the cash value on a life insurance policy, is if we do this, we're doing what the life insurance industry does. We're quoting insurance based on her age, and we're buying a basic whole life insurance policy where I get a death benefit first, and eventually the cash builds up. So remember, going back to policy design, where money can go towards premium or PUAs, i.e. cash. Well, in a price quote scenario, usually what the case is just assuming a 100% base premium, which if you've watched any of our videos or segments on policy design, we know that is a great example of what not to do with the whole life policy, because it's going to take me between 10 and 15 years just to break even. Not that attractive. So that's the first way we can generate the minimum premium. And usually people see that and say, okay, I'm not doing this, it's not for me. The second way, let's turn this into a 2, is, how do I put this? We can set the minimum premium, or we can determine it. What that means, when we design a policy, so this goes again back to policy design. Where can my money go? It can go towards premium, which we'll refer to as what? Our insurance expense, or it can go toward our PUA rider premium, which we'll refer to as what? Cash dumping. Insurance expense, and you'll see where we're going here. Cash. What are the limits often? How much can go towards premium and how much can go towards cash? Another way to put it is, if I set my premium at $500 a year, how much can I pay into that account per year? What's the maximum? If I set it up properly and if the company allows it, 10x that. $5,000 a year. Now what's critical here, make sure the insurance company allows for the 10x limit, because not all do. And then also make sure the MEC limit is set appropriately. We're going to look at some examples of this, setting policies up like this in the next several segments, next several videos. Point being, money can go insurance premium or cash. So how does this get to the question, what's the minimum? What's the absolute minimum I can pay? Well, we can set it wherever we want. There are some limits. If I'm 40, I might be able to get it as low as $500 a year. If I'm 65, it's going to fall between $1,200 and $1,800 a year, assuming I don't have any serious health issues. There are some minimums based off of my age, but we can really drive it down. The question we'll often ask is to really determine the minimum, because we can set it wherever you want, and if you pay just the minimum, it's not going to look attractive. It's price quoting really is what it is in the term, in the sense of how cash value will build up, is when it comes to the minimums. What's the minimum I can set in? Here's how I would back into this answer, or ask one to think over, ponder over, is how much do I want the ability, this is the key word, to add into the policy on any given year? Another way to put it is, what is my desired or potential maximum? Why would we ask that? Well, being familiar with what? The company's limits. If a company is going to let me 10x my minimum premium, and I said, hey, things might go well, I might want the option to put in $30,000 on any given year. Okay, we can set up a policy to do that, but if I've got a $500 base premium, how many companies are going to let me do that, especially consistently? Not many. It's beyond their limits what they will allow, and then it's difficult to get a MEC limit that high with a premium that low as well. Point being, if I have a sense, and it can be a ballpark range as well, I don't want to overshoot it too much, but whatever my desired maximum is, say it's $15,000. What does that mean? Where do I want to set my minimum yearly premium? Going back to the policy design, $1,500. And that can be paid. This depends on the company and their flexibility terms, but that can be paid one time per year or monthly if I wanted to. If I want to break that up and really have a lot of flexibility, I can do that. If I wanted the ability to pay in a maximum of $5,000 on any given year, well, I can set that premium as low as $500 per year. And again, I can pay that monthly if desired as well. So when it comes to the minimum, we can easily quote it, and we're going to have this in some samples of just driving it as low as possible. But at the same time, designing it where I can really use the policy, where I can continue to add more to it if things go well, and not have to start all over, go through the early years where it's heavy on the insurance expenses. If I set it up right, build in the ability to add more, I can design a policy to accommodate that. Minimum premium, ability to add more. This is where I'm not committed to it, but I can add more at my leisure. So to answer the question, what's the minimum? We can almost set it wherever we want. It does depend on our age, but even if we're in our 60s, we can get it between $1,000 and $2,000 for the year with the ability to add more. If we're younger, we can get it down to $500 a year, no problem.